Well, hi guys, it's Tommy Ellison and it's Senior Moments. It's live at 5 and it's August the 9th, and this is episode number 68, I believe it is. I got tired of listening to that intro thing. I got to redo that. It's kind of monotonous, but I've only done it 68 times, so I guess I thought I would just jump into it today because this is kind of a free for all day for me. I've been busy with church this morning and some hospital and some shut in visitations this afternoon. But anyway, I wanted to do a little episode with something I found online in the inner tube not too long ago that I thought was somewhat humorous, and I thought I would share it with you. In all of this, this is, as I said, episode 68, which means I've been doing this every Sunday night for over a year. Most of them are live. There's a few replays because of situations that occur. And that reminds me, I am going to be away from the camera this coming Sunday. My wife and I are taking a little trip with the First Baptist Church of Tuscaloosa to Washington, D.C., and I want to see all that algae in the reflecting pool up there. I thought that might be a treat to see. But that, along with other things. So it's been probably the last time I was in Washington was as a child, and I'm thinking it was probably maybe 5, 6 years old. Um, and I don't remember a lot about it. I remember a lot of white buildings. And I guess the thing, if any one detail stuck out in my mind, it was probably the Smithsonian Institute, but not the Institute itself, but in the main lobby, it seems like walking in there, hanging from the ceiling, was the Spirit of St. Louis, the little tiny airplane that Jimmy Stewart flew across the ocean. And, well, Charles Lindbergh actually flew it, but I'd only seen the movie at that point. Uh, but, the movie kind of dramatized the smallness of that cabin, but you didn't really, well, I guess if you got caught up in the plot, you didn't really appreciate it. But when I saw it hanging from the ceiling there in Washington, I thought, wow, that is so crazy that he could fly that thing. It basically was just a big gas can with a motor on it to give him enough fuel to fly across. I'm not even sure why I'm telling you this story, but if I'm hoping that it will still be there. I'm hoping. That would be very disappointing if I were to discover that the Spirit of St. Louis, the plane, was MIA from the Smithsonian. But the way people have been writing history for the United States over and over again, it probably wouldn't surprise me. So, anyway, this particular episode, and I'll get on with it here. Give me a break. Um, is I saw this online, and I just thought it was really really cute, and so I wanted to share it with you tonight. I don't have any particular motive behind this. I just thought some of this stuff was funny, and it reminded me back when I was a kid. I was, I won't say I was smaller, but I was younger. Um, Watching on, it seemed like in the afternoons when I'd be watching the black and white television with my grandpa at grandpa and grandma's house, waiting for my mom to get off work at the credit union. Watching, there was a program that Art Linkletter was on called Kids Say the Darndest Things. And as you can see from this episode, kids say the craziest things because in this particular episode, the teacher who I guess initiated this whole concept behind what I'm about to show you um, actually gave the kids a piece of paper with the first part of a famous witticism, saying, whatever, and then their job was to finish the sentence. And so Well, this is kind of what it looks like. We'll get into it right here. I'll show you what I'm talking about. So, as I said, this is episode 68. Kids say the darndest things. And I hope you enjoy this because I did as I read it the first and second time. So let me move on here. The first phase of the uh, uh, contest here wasn't really a contest, but just a challenge for the kids. And I don't know how old these kids were, but it probably doesn't really matter. But I know they were grammar school age. I do know that much. So the expression was strike while the, and of course the kid, this kid said the bug is close. Now, I learned that strike while the iron is hot, but apparently he didn't have the same teacher I did. But anyway, he answered it, so that's all he had to do. Here was the next question. It says this. It says it's always darkest before, and if I remember that expression was it's always darkest before the dawn. Is that the way you guys remember it? That's me. Uh, wow. Anyway, this young man or lady, I'm not sure, says it's always darkest before the daylight saving time. Witty, witty. All right, we'll go to the next one here. I don't want to spend a lot of time on all these. Never underestimate the power of, and I don't really know if I know the answer to that one or the real answer. Underestimate the power of, I guess it could be a lot of things. Maybe education, the power of God, underestimate the power of friendship. Who knows? But this kid says never underestimate. Never. I'll get there. Can we edit this? No. Okay. We're live. Never underestimate the power of termites. Apparently, there was something going on in her home or his home that was on their mind. Was it gentle on their mind? It was termites on their mind. All right, here's the next one. You can lead a horse to water. I know that one. I know that one. You can lead a horse to water, but you can't make him drink, right? This kid probably didn't grow up on a farm because he said you can lead a horse to water, but how? That's a great question. How do you lead a horse to water if you've never led a horse to water? Well, okay. All right, we shall move on. Y'all having fun yet? Be sure and leave a comment. Say, hey, Tommy, what a great episode. Or, what are you doing, Tommy? Anyway, all right. Don't bite the hand that I would have said feeds you, but this kid said don't bite the hand that looks dirty. Good advice. Really, really good advice, especially in grammar school, because you know what grammar school was like when it was just a germ pool. You know that, right? I know you know that. All right, here's the next one. No news is impossible. I don't even know this expression, I don't think. No news is impossible. Anyway, this kid took a stab at it. He said, no news is impossible. Oh, that's what it was. No news is. That's what it is. Okay. All right, let me start over. No news is, and the right answer probably would be good news, right? No news is good news. In other words, if you didn't get the power company bill, that's not a bad deal. So, but no news is good news. This kid says no news is impossible. Don't have any idea or a clue what that meant to that kid. But that was his answer. I'm just going to say his answer from now on. And that way I don't have to play pronouns with you over all afternoon. Here's the next one. A miss is as good as a hit. Is that the right answer? I don't know if I'm familiar with that one. If any of you guys are aware of that, put it in the comment. A miss as good as a, according to this kid, a mister. A miss as good as a mister. That's true. I mean, if you got a miss, you need a mister, right? If you got a Mrs., you need a mister. If you've got a miss, a miss is good as a mister. Good as a mile. Ah, okay, Anna, my little sister from New Jersey says a miss is good as a mile. Good job, Anna. Thank you for. I can tell who the bright one was in our family. Okay, we shall continue. How about you can't teach an old dog new math? A lot of truth in that. Um, shall we continue? There's more. If you lie down with dogs, you'll. Tell me what that one means, Anna. If you lie down with dogs, you'll what? Got any ideas? I'll wait. If you lie down with dogs, you'll get fleas, maybe? Oh, I was close. I was close. Anna says, get up with fleas. Okay, that's cool. All right, I can dig that. Okay. If you lie down with dogs, you'll get fleas. You'll get up with fleas. But this kid says if you lie down with dogs, you'll stink in the morning. And maybe both of those sentence closings are true. We'll continue. Here's the next one. Love all, trust, and I'm thinking this was no one. Seems like that was a kind of a corollary to Reagan's, trust but verify thought process with dealing with the Russians. But this person says, love all, trust. I guess the original was everyone. I'm not sure about that. David Downs, my good buddy, he answered back and said, fleas. A little late there, David, but good answer. And that is the correct answer, by the way. So, Mike McGinnis says, love all, trust none. Or David Downs says, trust no one. So, both of those are close. But this young man or girl said, love all, trust me. Bless their heart. All right, we'll keep going. We'll keep going. There's only 47 more. Just kidding. The pen is mightier than the pigs. Normally we would have said the pen is mightier than the sword. But in this case, this person must have grew up on a little farm and went to a little one-room schoolhouse, and she or he spoke the truth. The pen is mightier than the pigs. That's what keeps those pigs in check, I guess. So, funny people. How about next? An idle mind is. What would an idle mind be? Well, in this child's way of thinking, an idle mind is the best way to relax. There's a lot of truth in that. Sometimes it's very difficult to relax and relax your mind. We shall continue. Are y'all having fun yet? Where there's smoke, there's fire, right? Of course. But in this case, where there's smoke, there's pollution. My younger sister has popped in and says, my favorite syllogism from logic class: the pigs are in the pen, the pen is in my pocket, therefore, therefore, the pigs are in my pocket. Okay. Oh, David, you said the playroom of the devil. Which one? Which one of these were you referring to? I'm not sure. We'll continue. If you jump in and let us know that, I'm not sure which one that was. The pick. The pick. Well, anyway, I'm gonna move on. The the next one is, happy is the bride who. Guys, I have no clue. I have no clue which one. Rather, which person or what the. I can't talk and move a window here at the same time. Happy the bride who. Oh, okay. Anna says, happy is the bride that the sun shines on. All right. All right. Well, that's partially true, Anna, because in this case, happy the bride who gets all the presents. I'm sure that is the case. What about the next one? A penny saved is not much. I knew the answer to that. A penny saved is a penny earned. In fact, you know how old this is? It's disappointing and sad, but they're not even going to make pennies anymore. So we got to, I guess it would be a nickel saved as a nickel earned, or probably a dollar saved as a dollar earned would be closer to being accurate here. All right, we'll go to the next one. I'm having so much fun here. Two's company, three's a crowd. I did get one or two of these. But this young person said, no, that's not right. Two's company, three's the Musketeers. Or at least they've been reading their English literature or watching Disney Channel, or who knows. The Three Musketeers. We shall move on. Don't put off till tomorrow what you put on to go to bed. All right, let me read this. Don't put off till tomorrow what you put on to go to bed. Okay. That was close. That was close. All right, we'll try it again. We'll try it again. We got a few more. Laugh and the whole world laughs with you. Cry and help me out, guys. Laugh and the whole world laughs with you. Cry and you laugh alone. I don't know. But we'll see what that person says. He says, laugh and the whole world laughs with you. Cry and you have to blow your nose. You know, Mike, I don't have any idea. Mike wants to know. Push the wrong button there, buddy. Mike McGinnis said, "How old are these kids?" You know what? I did not see an answer to that question when I found this little meme on the inner tube. But I would suspect they would be grade school and maybe first, second. Perhaps some of them spend a lot of time with their grandma and they remember the first part of the expression, but kind of apply their own lifestyle to the second part of the question. Who knows? Anyway, Anna on the laugh and the whole world laughs with you, cry, and you cry all alone, and you have to blow your nose when you're done. Okay. All right. We shall continue. Next one. There are none so blind as Stevie Wonder. Oh, man. These kids. There are none so blind. What's the right answer to that? There are none so blind as what? What would be the right answer for that one? Guesses? Right answers? I'm here all night, guys. What do you think? There are none so blind as those who cannot see. That doesn't make any sense. If they can't see, they wouldn't be blind. Well, okay. My sister says the kids' version of these are way better. Yeah, possibly. And she says there are none so blind who will not see. Okay. And Mike jumped in and got that one correct as well. There are none so blind as Stevie Wonder. Okay. All right, let's go to the next one. Children should be seen and not, I got this one. I remember this one. Children should be seen and not heard. Like herding cats. Is that the way it works? No, of course not. Okay. Children should be seen and not spanked or grounded. Well, what else would a kid say? That's a good one, especially if you're a kid. I'm surprised there's a kid out there that still gets spanked, maybe grounded. But anyway. All right, let's move on. If at first you don't succeed, well, that's simple enough. Get new batteries. There was an expression that I heard. It says, if at first you don't succeed, get a different orange. Okay. All right. This is a bit of a pun. All right. What about this one? You get out of something only what you see in the box or see in the picture on the box. I can only imagine that this would be a kid that eats a lot of cold cereal in the morning and they look at the pictures of the prizes in the box. And so he says, you get out of something like a box of cereal only what you see in the picture on the box. How else would you interpret that, guys? I have no clue. No clue. And I think the real expression is you get out of something only what you put in, which was closer to the truth than this kid's answer, I think. All right, we shall move on. When the blind lead the blind, get out of the way. Wise counsel. Very wise counsel. You getting tired, folks? All right. A bird in the hand is going to poop on you. Well, okay. Thanks for sharing that one, folks. A bird in the hand is, what is the expression? A bird in the hand is better than two in the bush. Yeah, that's what it was, if I recall. A bird in the hand is better than two in the bush. Wise counsel. Is that in the Bible, Mike? I'm not sure about that. And what about this one? Oh, wait a minute. And this is the winner. This is the winner. Better late than what? Mike says no. I'm assuming that is the answer to my Bible question. And I knew that, Mike. I was just making sure you were awake. But better late than never. What would that imply, guys? Better late than never. Well, in this young person's mind, better late than never was not the right answer. It was better late than pregnant. I don't know. I have no clue. I'm thinking maybe he's got a new baby brother, or maybe he just wants a new baby brother. Who knows? I don't know. But I think that is a classic. Better late than pregnant. Well, all right. Well, guys, this has been kind of nutty, I know, but uh, been a busy week. And I found these, and again, I wanted to share them with you because I just thought they were kind of cool, and I'm hoping you enjoyed it as well. Um, I will not be here next week, next Sunday, due to some travel excursions and opportunities to go to Washington. So um, I may put up a video, a replay video, if I can, if pick out a good one. But excuse me, I'm trying not to break the cycle here. Uh, 68 this week. Number next week would be 69, which would be the year I graduated from high school. So I've got to do something for episode 69, but I have a little time to figure that out. So anyway, guys, I hope you have a great time, and hopefully y'all will have a good week. And if you would pray for me and my trip with Sandra and the senior group from the First Baptist Church of Tuscaloosa. Uh, this group is led senior minister down there. Many of you may remember, if you're Alabama fans, Mike Pugh. Mike Pugh is a pastor, but has been serving as a senior pastor, or I should say, minister to senior adults at First Tuscaloosa for quite a while now. And I saw some old video on him the other day. He was quite the football player. I remember hearing his name mentioned a lot at Alabama, but he was their leading receiver his senior year, which, you don't really know. Well, I think I read that there were maybe 800 yards in receiving that year for him, and he was the leading receiver on the team. And so you think to yourself, wow, that's not a lot of yardage, considering what some of these receivers are mounting up with their stats these days. But you got to remember this: Alabama in that time frame was running the wishbone, triple option. And so they weren't throwing the ball a lot. But when they did, old Mike Pugh was catching them. And there wasn't many that he missed. But anyway, I'm looking forward to spending some time with him again. We were in Ireland with this group last year and had a great trip. I'm hoping this one will be too. But please, if you would, pray that things in Washington will be settled down, because I know they're having a lot of, let's just call it issues up there with all that's going on in our political scene. But guess what? You know what? God's in control. He is in control, and he knows the answer, and he's the man. And well, he's not a man, but you get what I'm saying. He uh, he sent his son. He was the man. And anyway, I'm going to leave it with you. I hope you guys have a great week and look forward to seeing you week after next live, unless I pull off some kind of miracle from up there. And hopefully, I'll be able to catch up with you in 2 weeks at the latest. So, thanks for joining me. Senior Moments, live at 5. Have a great week. I think I've already said that about 40 times. So, I'm out of here.